Did you ever meet Betty Page?
Oh, I like that. It's like, I'm terrible at describing coffee.
Welcome to Famous Monsters of Filmland Festival.
As you enter the venue hall.
What is up? We are here in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania to check out the second
Famous Monsters Fest.
Famous Monsters Fest. The first one was amazing. I got to meet Jim Warren for the first time. Jim is here again, so now I'm here again because I love Jim Warren. He's an amazing person, and I'm so looking forward to talking to him again. So let's go. Let's check out Famous Monsters Convention number 2.
Let's go.
I was so psyched to be back here at Famous Monsters. Last year's was great. I had no doubt in my mind that this one was going to be great too. So much fun and such a unique convention. I love Famous Monsters, and I hope it sticks around for a long time.
Yeah, it was super cool. This is, of course, we're walking in here. This is right in the beginning. And Silver Scream Spook Show has set up this incredible little walkthrough. Now, this is, I mean, obviously this is a creature statue, but this is all the work of Shane Morton from Silver Scream Spook Show. It's based down in Atlanta. Definitely check them out. Even if you're not near Atlanta, you got to go check this out. And his artwork is just amazing. And you'll see more of the other stuff that he's created a little bit later in the episode. But you got to come through this walkthrough with us. It's awesome. I'm having a little trouble putting on the glasses there. But let's go. It's just, we love a good day glow walkthrough. But it was really cool, and it's just, like, it's cool to see all these monsters, and when you put it on, I mean, it's visually amazing without the 3D glasses, but it's even cooler with them on because it does really give it that 3D effect.
Yeah, I mean, as cool as this looks right now, once you see it with the glasses on, it's even more impressive. I mean, it's fantastic. What a great walkthrough, and this is before you even get into the convention, so it's like, right off the bat, you're like, wow, this is going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Just amazing artwork, and there's lots of cool little stuff throughout it, and
I love how when we first walked in, they were playing like just great classic monster music.
Yeah.
The stuff I love so much, that 50s, 60s era classic monster music, that was great, and it just added to the whole vibe of it. And then to have a walkthrough like this was just, this is how it's done.
yes.
You know, take note, kids, doing other conventions. This is how it's done right here. You know, having a walk-through spook show before you even enter the thing, and have the classic monster music playing, and just like this is it. This is what I look for right here. This is the stuff I love.
Yeah, it definitely really adds to the whole atmosphere of this convention. You know, obviously Famous Monsters is what started so much of this for so many of us. And just being able to go here and kind of be in this environment. You've got Jim Warren here, who, of course, of Warren Publishing, is a huge driving force, for everything that you see here. So it's cool to have gone here, be in his, in his presence, and see all this cool stuff, too.
Yeah, he is an icon, a legend, and responsible for all of us monster kids. I mean, it's shock theater and Famous Monsters all the way. That's where it starts. And so if you want to go back to the beginning,
and this was also created by Shane Morton. Didn't want to miss an opportunity to point out what is actually happening here. But it had come apart a little bit. So
it's
you had
Amy playing with tentacles is what's happening.
You had to be very careful because the tentacles were actually like attached to like a little rafter thing that they had fixed up top because it had actually broken. But he actually, Shane also sculpted all of these masks to make it look like Captain Company, and it's just awesome. It's just so cool to see it. And he airbrushed all of these. It's just, his artwork was everywhere. It was really cool to, go here and talk to him as well. It was a super cool experience.
Welcome to Famous Monsters of Filmland Fest. Let's go.
This first vendor, right when as soon as you walked in the door, had some really cool pieces. I know that guy was buying like stacks of Famous Monsters. He was buying all of those Gorgo ones. He was buying all of them.
It's a good place to buy them.
Yeah, this is great right here. This Mark's King Kong. I've seen it loose, but you very rarely see that in the box. So that was cool.
And this was the line to get a photo op with Peter Criss.
Yeah, that's the Peter Criss. He's behind the curtain. He was the wizard behind the curtain over there. You couldn't see him.
No.
You could only stand in line, and you had to get behind the curtain.
Go behind the curtain.
Table of cool stuff right here. I love this shirt, but it was a size medium. But it was great. It had Jim right there on the cover.
Day one, Friday night.
Friday the 13th.
I know.
Who'd you meet so
Subscriber
far?
here. Love your show.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
doing the great work.
We'll see you around.
Pretty awesome.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you on YouTube.
We'll see you on YouTube.
I just wanted to make sure you got your copy.
What are all these people doing on?
Who's your favorite monster?
The story goes with it.
All right, I'll take the story.
You won't understand it, you're too young.
Give me a shot.
Most people who you would ask that to in our world would say Frankenstein or Dracula. Or are you talking about the actors who played them? Or you're talking about the monsters? You're talking about the monsters.
The monsters, yeah.
They would say either Frankenstein, Dracula, or the Wolfman. 90%, 95% would answer one of those three. But you're too young to know because it comes from a movie that you probably never saw or know about. So it's really not fair. Peter Lorre played the role. I bet you can't guess the movie. How old are you? What?
Yeah.
I have shoes older than that.
So who is
Peter
it?
Lorre played this role, one of his early roles. And nobody knows about the movie. I dated his daughter.
Did you?
Yeah, we went out on a date
Wow.
once.
Is that how you seen this movie? Or was just
And we spoke about it. The movie that he was in is a classic movie. And you would never ever know about it because you're too young.
What is it? Like he's a monster in the movie?
He's a bad guy,
Yeah, but like,
but he's not a monster. He's not a monster. But he's as close as a monster as you can get without makeup. But if you want to know the real,
that's it.
I didn't spend a lot of time with her, but we spent a weekend together. Woman assignments?
Do you still have that jacket?
Certainly. It's up in my room. Including the handkerchief. You can see how she's looking at me in that door in manner. Because I promised her I would get her into the movie. At the time, I had 7 cents to my name in my pocket, but I was going to put her into the movie. But the fact that she was going to be on the cover of the National Magazine was big time.
No, why did you wear this mask?
Why? Well, because he was Frankenstein. Frankenstein mask.
So that's why I assumed maybe he was your favorite because you wore him on this first issue.
I kept this mask for about 20 years.
Wow.
My mother threw it away. She was cleaning the house. She threw it away. I didn't talk to her for 6 months. It's a great picture.
Do you have this picture?
Yeah, I have it. But I don't have it grown up like this.
Okay, well this one's yours.
May I?
Yes, that's
Oh,
yours.
thank you.
I want you to sign this one for me.
Oh, let me sign it?
Yes. But that one's for you.
I'm going to frame this and put it over my bed. It's a beautiful print. How'd you get that? Happy Halloween.
Yeah. I know you're an artist.
That's what Farah used to say.
Yeah.
I give you Halloween 365 days a year.
Did you ever save like any of the outtake photos? See this? Do you have
I
that?
did. We took those shots for number 2.
Yeah.
Cover of number 2.
Do you still own these shots?
Maybe. Probably.
How
probably have it in my old files. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? You don't-
Yes, I would.
I don't carry it around on me. Do I have your name and address here? Yeah. I haven't seen one of those in 1,000 years. And it's a mint copy. When you die, can I have this?
You can have it now if you want. I hope to live a little longer.
You want me to sign this?
Yeah. So why was this in place of Famous Monsters? Why did you go with Monster World instead of Famous Monsters 70?
Instead of making FM a monthly, because in those days, the newsstand distributors didn't keep the book out for a whole month. They only kept it out for a couple of weeks, which is why we were bi-monthly with Famous Monsters every 2 months. But instead of making it a monthly, I figured we would come out with this and make this every 2 months, and Famous Monsters every 2 months, and they would stay on the newsstands longer. That's why we did it. But the newsstand distributors at the time said, screw you, we're not going to keep it out long, and so they didn't distribute this enough. So we had to cancel it. And as far as the idea to just take it and incorporate it into FM, and we did that. It's a shame. But in the long run, it was the best thing to do. It was best to put all the energy behind FM instead of 2 separate magazines.
When you put out Famous Monsters, did parents was there backlash from people and parents and everything saying
Oh boy.
yeah?
Teachers, the church.
Really?
The church was after us because you'll never guess why. They said, we teach that God created man. And what you're saying with Famous Monsters and with Frankenstein is that Frankenstein created man. He created a monster. And that's against our religion. Nobody can create life except God. And the church went against me. It was very bad for a while. Plus, every parent teachers association thought this is the worst thing in the world for kids. We went through a bad 5 years.
Wow, that long.
Wow. A good 5 years before they stopped. Even the government was after it. They didn't want to give us a second-class permit for mail because they said this is not a magazine; it's just a piece of crap. Wow. I had to go to Washington with a lawyer to fight it. And 30 years, not 30, a couple years later, the government came out with stamps with the monsters on them. Actual stamps.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So we won in the end, but it was a battle at first. Good question. We went through hell for, as I said, the first 5 years.
I know in that time, I mean, you started it, so I was always wondering what parents thought of these monster magazines back then.
Well, I wish you were around to tell them that then.
I tell them now, but they wouldn't listen.
Should I try and do it up here?
Probably. I love that man so much. I could talk to him for hours.
Yeah.
He is just the best. He is just the best. Absolutely adore him. Fantastic human being.
And he has great stories too.
He just rules. I love Jim Warren. Love him. Some cool modern monster toys here.
Yes, definitely.
So many modern monster toys. I mean, if this stuff had been made back in the day, Monster Kids would have went nuts. I mean, you got Vincent Price figures and Metaluda mutants and all this great stuff that they didn't make back in the day. It's like you can get it all now. There's so much of it.
It makes me wonder, though, had this stuff been around back in the day when all of the really collectible stuff was made, do you think all of it would be so desirable?
Yeah, because I still think kids wouldn't have saved it. I mean, you didn't have mega collectors in the 60s of action figures and toys. Back then, they were still just toys. kids actually
true.
played with them. Unlike now, where these toys are all for adults. I mean,
That's true.
like 99% of these toys are never even going to be opened. They're
That's a good point.
You know, maybe a handful of collectors that'll display them, but most of them are going to be kept sealed. I mean, and there's Patty Mullen,
Yeah.
the
Frankenhooker.
the Frankenhooker.
And got Mr. Wednesday 13 over there taking some personal calls.
Say hello to my mom Wednesday.
Darcy the mail girl.
Darcy the mail
And here
girl.
is Shane Morton's artwork, which we're going to show a little bit more of in a bit. Like, it's just, that shock monster mask is amazing.
I know. It was beautiful.
These are all his sculpts. His masks are epic.
I'm going to order one of those shock monsters. I just need that in my life. I love that thing.
Yes. But we're hoping to also next year go down and actually see the spook show.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. I had never seen this Pee-wee growth chart. That's the first time I'd ever seen one of those.
And it's awesome.
There was a little banner thing, a little booklet signed by Zachary, which was really cool. But I'd never seen a Pee-wee growth chart before. Which is there's a little innuendo in there somewhere, guaranteed.
Kim Forey. And then we had a little bit of cosplay going on here, not a ton. But we have Ultra Jason here.
Yeah. Ultraman Jason.
Which is cool. There was a little kid that was really fascinated with him who was doing the signs back and forth with him. We got some cool magazines over here too.
That's a gym book right there, Spaceman.
Yeah. It's amazing. Sometimes I forget Vampirella. I forget how many magazines he actually had such a big part in, if not completely responsible for.
Yeah, he did a lot. He did a lot.
If you really if you're not that familiar with him yet, really look into him, and it'll blow your mind how much he had to do with monsters.
If you're watching this channel, you better know who he is.
You should.
That's all I know.
If not, do your homework right now. Well, after this episode. These are cool. This is the resurgence of the Lincoln Monsters.
Yeah, these look great.
They look awesome. I'm
look
excited
great.
about this. This is cool. This is when it's done right. And they look really great, and I'm glad to see them out and about.
Welcome to Famous Monsters of Filmland Festival. My name's Charlemagne, and of course you're here to see me and only me, and not Kane Hodder or people from the Greasy Straggler or Frankenhooker. It's me, Charlemagne the Squirrel. And we're all here having fun, drinking water, maybe some Yangling. If you're 21, if you're not 21, we're drinking water. Only water. Nothing else. Have fun wherever you are. Unless you're not having fun, then don't have fun.
Amy desperately wanted to bring him home. The squirrel.
Yes. If you follow me on any kind of social media, you know I absolutely love squirrels and, well, all animals. But I particularly have been feeding the ones around the apartments here. And they love me. So anytime we see a squirrel, we're a little extra drawn to it. And here is the Famous Monsters Fest merch. That's a really cool Santos shirt right there. I don't know if we went back to that, but that was a really cool shirt. And they had a lot of great shirts. They always do.
Yeah, I love the Santa one.
Yeah, you could really go crazy just buying the different shirts that they have here.
The Doyle one's fantastic, too. That's a great shirt. I love the pink on that.
Yeah, it looks great.
The creature one. I know, I need all of these.
Yeah. And they have, some little random stuff, too. This is for Mad Monster over here.
I need to get to that.
Yes, that is on our list, definitely.
Yeah, next year, Mad Monster for sure.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go to that, so that's got to happen. This was a great setup, great diorama right here. Awesome stuff.
Like that. Ooh,
I know, he
terrifying.
looks real. He looks so real.
I think we have a couple neighbors that look like that. That's cool. Like, look how realistic. It's the eyes.
I know.
Eyes are terrifying.
He's watching you.
He's still watching me. And this just looks amazing too. It's great. I love seeing when people bring these, these life-size monsters along with them, and it's just, these masks are amazing.
Hey everybody, my name is Jad Cato, and I am an author on The Tomb of Balbareth. This is an independent horror comic anthology done by the famous Mark McKenna of Virtual Ink Press. He's worked with DC and Marvel and has a lot of good stuff. 4 original stories that have to do with different monsters. Come check us out. here at the famous Monster Fest at Valley Forge, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
And if you can't be here, then order it online right here. Or go to this code right here and buy this book and support this guy because he's cool.
These are awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
This is hilarious.
I want you to get all.
I know that.
Yeah, I filmed.
Subscribe to
Now get your, now get your head out of that box.
Alright, so we did a little research. I think I know who Jim's favorite monster is. And there's a technicality on it. He told us we're too young to know it, which, yeah, we are. It's a Peter Lorre movie, Peter Lorre character. He said it's not technically a monster, but he's a very bad guy in it. And I think it's Hans Beckert from M. That's the role that made him famous. So we're going to go back and hit him with it, and hopefully I'm right, because otherwise I'll make an idiot of myself.
Dude, look how many people signed that, man. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
Forrest Ackerman, Jim Warren, Ray Harryhausen, and Vincent Price.
You win. That's
You
awesome.
win.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
What a
That's
piece.
a beautiful piece.
Wow.
I had one earlier that had Steven Spielberg, Basil Gogos, Forrest Ackerman, him. I mean, there were some really...
Wow.
That's
it's been a
incredible.
I've been doing this for 50 years, since I was a little one. So.
I envy you. That's amazing.
And
That's
some of it
great.
is just downright hustle. To get a Steven Spielberg autograph,
Impossible.
You gotta stop
he'll
somebody.
sign. It's just getting to him.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta bribe and lie and
Do
do
whatever you
whatever.
gotta
Beg.
And then this lady here is the queen. She can get,
Jim, I think we might have figured out your Peter Lorre character. Hans Beckert.
But you don't know the movie is
And
the Lord. How'd you find out?
little research.
Wow.
He's got like a million roles, but that one,
You have to screen. You have to see that movie sometime.
that's
How'd you find out?
intuition and IMDb. Little internet and a little
But you're
intuition.
right.
Very sweet. Sweet and light.
Do you do dairy or non-dairy?
Non-dairy.
I've not really tried this oat milk, but I found the only non-dairy single pot.
That's awesome.
So maybe that's maybe not. I don't know.
Which one you going with? Which one you going with?
I'm not sure. I told her I like them really light and really sweet with my coffee, so we're gonna find out which blend suits me best.
So you didn't go with Boris Karloff? Come on.
So we created the Boris Karloff coffee in collaboration with Sarah Karloff. It's an African dark roast meant to actually replicate what he enjoyed in his actual life. He loved a smooth and bold coffee, dark roasted coffee. It's Sarah Karloff and all her friends and people who loved Boris. They all approve of it, and it supports Sarah and the goal of keeping his legacy alive. So it's a fun project we do, and we really hope everybody enjoys it.
Awesome. And you guys can get your own Boris Karloff coffee and a bunch of other cool ones, for sure, right here at Hollywood Blends.
And let's try it.
All right, try
This
it.
is the Boris Karloff blend, made
Okay.
light and sweet. Oh, I like that. It's like, I'm terrible at describing coffee, but it's almost a little chocolatey. But like the cocoa.
So it's good.
Yes, it's very good.
Karloff approved.
I love it. And I love this concept. This is so adorable.
And absolutely check that out. The coffee's amazing. The work that she does is amazing. She's fantastic, super nice, and support that company for sure. And the
Definitely.
coffee is amazing, by
It's
the way.
so good.
It's amazing. And here's the Severin table. Always love the boutique, film companies putting out the classics, the stuff I love, the OG original, especially like the 50s, 60s era stuff that's like been lost for years. They take the time to put into it. And I actually got Count Dracula here, which was like a lost Christopher Lee film. Well, lost to me, not lost to anybody else, but one I'd never
found
seen.
it.
It was from, after the big, his heyday stuff, but it was one I hadn't seen, so I grabbed that. But always got to check those tables and look for the classics and support physical media, because physical media rules.
And Cheddar Goblins.
Cheddar Goblins too.
Yeah, this table was amazing.
Where we had all the masks.
That was
out
you guys
there.
there?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all that. It has all the famous monster effect things at the back of the mask.
Are you in the spook show too?
Yeah. I usually play monsters or build it or whatever.
I want to move Filmland and be the spook show. That just sounds like the coolest thing you can do.
Yeah, it is a fun thing. It's a fun experience. At a whole little theater.
Where can people go online to find out information about the spook show?
For when it is and stuff?
Yeah.
If you have Instagram, you can follow Instagram. If you go to the Plaza Theater, their website in Atlanta, they display like the full list and all that. It says what days each one is and all that. So then if you just go to the Silver Scream Spook Show, the Instagram, it will tell you everything. We display stuff all the time.
Pretty cool. This is killer.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Prints are 15 if you're interested.
This is great.
This is original artwork on original map here.
Look at the little Scream dog. That's too much. That's too cute. Oh my god. What, too much? Look at the tiny ghost face mask. That's insane. Wow.
That's the cutest thing ever.
I didn't know you walked up
I don't know.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger wasn't a hit with him at all.
He was so cute. Look at you.
You can pet him this way. Awesome.
He's so cute.
Yeah, you're good boy.
His name is Astro.
Astro, I love him so much. He's just a baby.
She's like half Chihuahua, half Min Pins,
Oh,
but we're not really
God.
sure.
My husband's favorite breed are the Min Pins.
Oh, they're...
But he does the Chihuahua. He's only one.
That's the one on the top too.
You are now in Romero's office. Finally.
This.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Where did you get them?
You don't
Is
have
the
one of these?
original in here?
Yeah.
You know what it's worth?
$4 or $5. His reaction was great.
It worked.
Perfect.
I'm keeping it. Looks good.
Yeah.
Let it dry. Don't touch it for a while.
Jim, I wanted to ask you, were you inspired at all by shock theater?
Shock was the only inspiration. Oh no, that's not true. 75% of the inspiration.
For famous monsters.
The rest of it for famous monsters. Because what happened is Universal had this library of the old films. They weren't making any money on it. Nobody was showing. The movie exhibitors were not going to show the old Frankenstein and Dracula movies. So they packaged them together, sold them to Columbia, and Columbia had started a company called Screen Gems. Screen Gems went to all the television stations in the country and said, take this, and show it late at night. And they had a funny horror host, Zachary, and every city had their own funny host making fun of the films. And they showed them late at night on a Friday night when the kids didn't have school the next day. The adults didn't watch it, but the kids watched it and loved it. And they didn't look at the monsters as the bad guys. They looked at the monsters as the good guys, which is something the parents never did. The parents did just the opposite when they saw those films originally. Frankenstein and Dracula were bad guys, but to the kids, they were great guys. And that's what started it, which is why I started the magazine. I figured if they liked it on television, they're going to like a magazine. And Farley Ackerman was a perfect editor. He wasn't the editor, he was a writer. And so the answer is shock theater played a very important part of it. Actually, 75% of it. If shock theater hadn't existed, I would have never started. You know, the odds are I might not have ever started the magazine. But it was the shock theater thing that made me do it. But I'm glad you know about shock theater.
I'm a huge fan. I love Famous Monsters. I love what you did. And I'm glad that, I'm glad you're here and people get to meet you and talk to you. And, what you did is amazing. I mean, you did so many things.
How big is your collection?
It's pretty big. I mean, I'm sure yours is bigger. But
how many do you have?
Famous Monsters?
A lot of them?
Yeah.
When you die, can I have them?
All of them. You can have them all. Did you ever meet Betty Page?
Wait a minute, I have to have a fantasy. Not only did I meet her, but I dated her for a couple of weeks.
No way.
That's awesome.
2.5 weeks.
What happened in the midweek? 2.5 weeks. Why not 3?
None of your business.
That's the best
Have you ever seen a copy of After Hours?
I have.
Oh, you have?
And I know you got in trouble for that.
Got in trouble. I got arrested. Betty Page didn't get arrested. I got arrested.
Just you.
But we spent a delightful almost 2 weeks together in New York in the early 1950s.
Wow.
I'm sorry, late 1950s.
So that was like the perfect era. Wow.
What a time.
Vodka. I need vodka.
Get the man a drink.
And she was a delightful person. I loved her. She was really a good person.
Carol.
How'd you know that?
I know a lot.
How'd you know that?
I'll never tell.
How did you know
He
that?
knows too much now, he's got to kill you.
told me everything.
Wait, I'm having another phone. Get these people away.
Gonna get them all riled up.
Okay. Jim, I have your name and address, don't I?
Oh yeah.
But when I send you my Christmas card, I'll put Betty Page also.
The Captain Company, was that run originally out of your house?
That's awesome.
Right out of my bedroom.
Out of your bedroom. Was that the... Which house was that? What street was that?
1054 East Upsall Street.
That's where you lived. So that's why that address, that was your house.
The early issues will show 1054 East Upsall Street.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
That's awesome.
That was the original Captain Company. A lot of fun.
What made
created
you,
Captain.
Yeah, what made you do that?
Because I couldn't get any advertisers for Famous Monsters. They wouldn't go into it. I went to Schwinn Bikes. I went to all the things that kids buy. And they looked at the magazine and said, "This is a piece of crap. Get out of this office before we throw you out." So nobody would advertise in the magazine. So I said, okay, I have to put my own advertising in. So I started my own company and with my own products. And it became very big.
What was the best year for Famous Monsters?
Best years?
Yeah. Like, what was the most successful year?
It's a good question. Hold on. While I have a fantasy. 60s and 70s.
60s and 70s. These early issues, because I know you printed 200,000 of issue 1, right?
How'd you know that?
No, Fari told me everything. I know it all.
What the hell is he?
No secrets.
I love it.
But these other ones, right?
Well, they varied. Each issue varied under certain market conditions and so on. If there was a blizzard in the middle of the country, there were less magazines because the cities in the country wouldn't take them. Distributors wouldn't take them if there was a blizzard.
Yeah.
Because nobody would go out to the newsstands. In those days, we had newsstands. So each issue varied. They averaged about 200,000 each one. It was a pretty good, very good for a small magazine.
Yeah.
And we were pioneers. And most of the distributors laughed at us. So what is it? A piece of crap. Hold on, there's another thing. Get away from me. That's all I'm going to think about. And tonight. Thank you for showing me that.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
You still have the original of that?
I have one of these, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't have this one. This was a test shot for our second issue.
Yeah.
And we printed it on the side. It was real hot under that mask.
What was that mask?
Huh?
Was it a werewolf? What was this mask?
It was from the Don Post Company, and it was not from a regular movie monster. It wasn't a Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman mask. Oh, no, hold on. It might have been a Wolfman mask. It might have been their version of a Wolfman mask. I'm not sure. Looks like. It looks like. No, it looks like a Wolfman. Not Wolfman had more fur. I don't remember who this was. It might not have been a movie monster. It might have been one of their own creations. Although I think it's a Wolfman.
It looks similar.
Looks like Wolfman.
Do you want to wear that? Like you picked that? Nope.
Yeah. It was the most photogenic. We had already used Frankenstein. Dracula I thought was too common. I wanted something else. And the Dracula mask didn't look that good. They didn't look like Bela Lugosi. They looked like something else, so I picked this.
But you don't have that photo. You don't have this picture.
If I had it, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on my yacht in the Mediterranean. Probably go for $2 million.
For sure.
My mother threw out the Frankenstein mask.
I would never know. You don't even remember.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what you told him. Said, I didn't do that.
She thought it was a piece of crap.
That's what he said.
I still have nightmares over it.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
Fari told me.
That's amazing.
This?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Not this one. This is mine, yes. Yeah.
I'm on vacation this week.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jim.
Wait, I'm having a Betty Page.
His hands have been on Betty Page. How the hell tall are you?
5'10". I'm probably as tall as you.
Really?
Well, the boots.
That's
Just some big boots. I love it.
That's killer. As you saw in the episode, we got a contest going on. All you got to do is tell me who your favorite monster is. Put it down there in the comment box. Click, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you do that, you're going to win this. And it's signed. To you. Trust me. It's to you. So, put your favorite monster down there in the box. That guy did it. Maybe he'll win. But if he doesn't, maybe you will. So, do that and win this comic book. Because it's cool as hell. So that was amazing. What a great time hanging out with Jim Warren again. I love that man. He is an incredible, incredible person. And, I mean, if you're a monster kid, it doesn't get any bigger than Jim Warren. Jim Warren, he's a dynasty. And he's an incredible human being, right?
He's the best. He's so funny. He's so witty. And you never know what he's going to say next. And I did get to impress him, which was awesome. He was Andy asked him, as he asks a lot of his favorite people on Earth, who's your favorite monster? Jim hit us with kind of a curveball, but we figured it out. We came back, and he was like, that's correct. I'm impressed. Because he told us at first we were too young.
Yeah.
But we got it. We got it. We impressed him, and that's awesome.
Well, she got it. I didn't get it because I asked him monster, and he's like, well, it's not really a monster. And I said, well, then that's not really the answer. But he's Jim Warren, so, I mean, you're not going to argue with Jim Warren. So, and met lots of cool people in here. There was all kinds of talented artists and people, and, you know, hopefully you've seen that in this episode. And check out all that stuff. There's some amazing things from Boris Karloff flavored coffee to amazing shock monsters and spook shows. I mean, there's so much stuff here going on.
So much, even in the parking lot. But there's a lot of really cool vendors inside. There's a lot of people, some really cool original stuff that they brought here to Famous Monsters Fest. There's some cool celebrities. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. So if you're not here, get here. What are you doing?
Yeah. And come to the next one, because by the time you see this, this will be over. So come to the next one. But in the meantime, subscribe here for all your Monster Kid goodies. Here
On Dark Eye Dracula.